Millions of years ago, the surface of our planet was almost entirely covered with water. Only small volcanic islands rose to break the horizon. There are places that still feel that way. In the Pacific Ocean are remote atolls, tiny specks of land hidden in the vast Pacific Ocean. For much of our planet's life, they have been protected by remote isolation. But isolation isn't enough to continue protecting them. Each monument is a magnet for life and a home for millions. They are interconnected worlds that begin in the deep, dark parts of the North Atlantic.
All right, we are at 2254 on Sirius depth.
To the alien world of the Mariana Trench in the Pacific, to the specks of land found in the remote Pacific Ocean. So unique, so important to our planet's health, these islands and the millions of square miles of ocean around them have earned our country's protection as marine national monuments. Of the 5 marine monuments, 4 are located in the Pacific Ocean, including Papahānaumokuākea, Pacific Remote Islands, Rose Atoll, and Marianas Trench. The 5th, Northeast Canyons and Seamounts, is the first marine monument to be established in the North Atlantic. The U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service, NOAA, and their partners work out here on these remote outposts. And their discoveries are changing how we see these atolls. They are responsible for restoring and managing these vast monuments, which seem large, but are the bare minimum required for these ecosystems to stay intact. These scientists understand and protect the fragile life here. On Palmyra Atoll, there are over 400 species of fish. The abundance of healthy corals and fish are like going back in time to when all of the Pacific Ocean was this healthy. The forests on these islands are like going back in time too. In the tiny jungle heart is Susan White. She studied these monuments for 10 years.
It's so different inside the forest than it is like on the coast. There's such a peacefulness in it. There's such a calmness.
So we'll start basically mid-island, start that transect.
Okay, roger that. So one of the really important things to do is looking for nesting birds. What the populations are like. We started out on the bird surveys, and there were just a few nests.
Birds here?
Roger that, no birds so far. And then as you got deeper into the forest,
Okay, we have one.
suddenly there's nests all over the place. Is it a chick or is that just feathers?
I think it might just be like a skew feather on it.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, a chick, a downy chick with, yeah, it's attended. You see just an unbelievably spectacular little microcosm that is so wildly alive. The ocean doesn't divide us. It actually unites us. And with these monuments, we've got this great transect across the Pacific Ocean. But the ocean is the great connector through all of those islands.
Bridge dive suit permission to proceed with dive. Going down.
Depth of 2,640 meters.
Submerged lands, such as Mariana's Trench and Northeast Canyons and Seamounts, reveal new discoveries and allow us a glimpse of what Earth's earliest days may have looked like. Just like the story of the atolls of the Pacific, which began long ago, in a process still taking place today. Deep beneath the Pacific, the superheated center of the planet reaches out and breaks through the crust to form hotspots. Over hotspots, volcanoes and undersea mountain chains form. Cracks release poisonous gases at 800 degrees. As the Pacific tectonic plate moves away from the hotspot, the volcano cools and begins to sink back under its own weight. As new islands become dormant, life finds them. Seeds are brought on wind and water. Oceans and rains start to erode the exposed surface, softening the edges and flattening the peaks. Over time, the island erodes completely away, leaving only a silhouette of where it used to be. That silhouette is what we call an atoll. Around the edges, new coral continues to settle and grow. It's a safe refuge. Of all the amazing creatures that call these monuments home, there is perhaps nothing as impressive as the rays. On 18-foot wings, manta rays glide hundreds of miles, following the submerged contours of the mountain chain. back on land, there is perhaps no creature more abundant than crabs. The huge variety of hermit crabs are some of the most successful species out here on these remote islands. They use old seashells as armor. If they outgrow their miniature home, they upgrade to a more spacious residence. But not all crabs need a shell for armor. In the forest are giant robber crabs. Studying them can be tricky, since each one can span over a yard across and weigh 10 pounds. Their body is the size of a football, and their claws are the second most powerful grip in the animal kingdom, as strong as an alligator's jaws or a lion's bite. Thankfully, they more often use them to open coconuts. After all, they are more commonly known as coconut crabs. Atolls are mere specks of land hundreds of miles apart. On each tiny island, it can get quite crowded. They are found and colonized, not least by us. To the military, Wake and Midway Islands were a strategic outpost halfway between America and Asia. It's hard to imagine that these beautiful places were a bustling base of military operations and the stage for battles during World War II. Just as humans have used these islands, birds too need a base of operations. On Midway, none more so than the albatross. Half of the world's Laysan albatross live on Midway. 3-year-olds first return here to find a mate, and will spend 5 years courting a partner that they will keep for life. With luck, they'll breed into their 60s and become some of the oldest parents on Earth. To the early Polynesian voyagers, these islands were weeks apart. Today, we are still somewhat like them, living off the sea.
Small yellowfin tuna.
In the far corner of the Pacific is Rose Atoll. 3 or 4 times a year, a scientific team visits Rose. One of them is Charlie Palizza.
For the past 14 years, I've been thinking about and studying Rose Atoll. So you study it and you talk to people and you look at the literature and the research. But it's the little things that you experience when you're actually there. There was no visible signs of man on the island. We came, a crew of 9, and we brought everything with us that we needed for the 3 days that we're there.
Is that the right side? No.
And we took everything away when we left. Rose is one component for the seabirds that use it as a nesting place. The remaining part of the equation is the vast sea that surrounds Rose Atoll, the Marine National Monument. And you look under the surface, you see the reef fishes, You see the clams. And you see growing coral. And it's just a wonderful microcosm of the entire system that's on that reef. Without that protection, we don't protect the species. We can't just protect roes. Inside the reef, there's this reef flat that goes almost dry at low tide. And then there's these big, huge chunks of coral reef that have been thrown up by the sea. The visual of this just vast expanse of pockets of open water and cascading waterfalls, it takes your breath away. What really strikes me about roes is the solitude. There are no planes flying. There's no ships offshore. The only noise was the birds that you heard that all night long were ever present. To know that you can experience nature at its primal, you just realize that it's a really special place that we have to take care of.